Yeah! Hoorah! Hoorah, baby. Hey, Spartan Warriors. Do you have enough patience? No, and I'm not talking about patience in a healthcare facility. I'm talking about, do you have patience to cultivate something slowly into something strong? You know, nowadays we have instant everything. Everybody needs instant gratification and instant love and instant money. It's all over YouTube as far as the money goes. Oh, you can be a millionaire in like a week. I mean, come on, give me a break. You know, a lot of those guys, what they do, is I learned this to Gary Vee, is they go out and they rent a Lamborghini and they rent a big boat or a yacht or whatever. And they may have a decent program, but they convince you that that's how they got that stuff. Or they take all, Grant Cardone said they take all their money out of the bank and they throw it on their bed like it's spending money and that's all they got, and then they throw it back in the bank. So you just gotta be careful with stuff like that. I just thought I'd throw that out. But patience are very important. I might be dating myself here, but there's a movie with Joe Pesci and it was called My Cousin Vinny, right? Classic movie. If you're younger and you don't know what I'm talking about, look it up. My Cousin Vinny. There's a part when Joe Pesci's in court and he's talking to this guy on the stand, and it's about the murder of this clerk and whatever. And he was talking to him about how long it took him to make his grits. And Joe Pesci says, oh, it only takes you X amount of time to make grits? I mean, would you use instant grits? And the man says, oh, no law-abiding Southerner would use instant grits. You know, it takes time. Why? Why not? Because the texture would be different. The taste would be different. You know, and that goes with anything in your life. You know, I mean, doing all this training when I was an active bodybuilder and power lifter, and I did very well, I had a base. You know, and nowadays, you know, these guys are huge and they're taking all kinds of steroids, and that's okay, that's up to them, but they don't have a base. I remember having friends who did that. They would just come into the gym and start pumping up and start using these steroids, and they got big and they looked good, but there was no base, and when they stopped, they just lost it all. Yeah, I did that in the 80s when I competed, but I trained hard for 7 years, competed 100% natural, and I had a really strong base. And then when that was introduced, I did very well. And yeah, absolutely those things help. And back then we didn't know exactly what that stuff was anyways. We were actually able to just go to the pharmacy and get it. So much different times. But what I'm saying is you need to take time to cultivate the things that you want. One, two, it just gives you a sense of pride that you actually did something. There's very rarely something that you're going to get right away and it's going to last any kind of time. You know, a lotto winners, you know, they've done studies that most of the people who win lotto are broke in 5 years. Why? Because they just got it. They didn't cultivate the mindset and the character and the heart that goes along with that money, and they didn't know what to do with it and ended up losing it all. So we need patience in life to do everything that we need that's going to be worthwhile, right? If everything was easy, everybody would be doing it. I know you've heard that before. If everything was easy, everybody would be doing it. It takes time. It takes time to cultivate that. And then it also takes patience to keep it, right? It takes patience to keep the money. It takes patience to learn what to do with it, how to invest it, and how to grow it, and how to scale it up, just like a business. It takes time to grow a business. You know, you're not going to open up a doctor's office. You're not going to open up any kind of store, you know, whatever you want to sell. I mean, a gym, and expect it to grow and be very successful in a week or a very short time. It doesn't work that way, right? You have to put the marketing in. You got to put the time in. You got to cultivate the relationships, right? And same thing with relationships. Speaking of relationships, you want a really good relationship with your family and your friends or a spouse and loved one? It takes time to cultivate that. It takes time to figure out what that person is like, and what their likes are, and what makes them feel good, and how you just meld together. It's time. So, patience. Let's try to have some patience today, right? Let's try not to go off to the deep end and yell at our kids and then get mad at somebody because they cut you off in traffic. I mean, it's not like we never cut somebody off accidentally, craziness. And that only just leads to a downward spiral into the day. So let's deal with the patience. Let's grow our patience. Let's have patience today. And let's pray to God that we have the patience today to do whatever it is that we want to do. So Spartan Warriors, Mastermind's coming up. Steel Sharpens Steel, men, and women. It's coming up in November. And I'll have a link at the bottom sooner or later, hopefully sooner than later. So have a great day. Be good to each other, love each other, and God bless.